Hi guys, I was playing Minecraft on the Xbox One with my friend the other day, and obviously that's a vanilla version of the game. And he wanted a system whereby people could drop things into a chest like this, and it would automatically be sent off in a minecart and sent somewhere else and sort of unloaded and sorted out and such. So as you can see here, what I've set up is, this is all quite spaced out just so you can see exactly what's going on. This is a system whereby over here we could drop items into this chest. They would go down, a minecart would come along, it would get loaded up, and then it would come back over to here. So there are two sides to this. This side is a lot less complex than this side over here. So I'm just going to explain that first. So when the minecart comes in, actually what I'm going to do, before we do that, I am going to put some items in this chest just so it will slow down and be able to see what's going on. So in comes minecart, hopefully. Yep, there we go. Right, so as you see, the minecart comes in and now it's got items in there. It stops for the entire time that it's unloading into this hopper here and the items go into the chest below. The way this works is when it goes over this detector rail, a signal is sent out and it is inverted here with this redstone torch, and that redstone torch powers a redstone repeater, which is basically what turns this powered rail underneath here on and off. But this torch is also powered by a comparator here, which takes a signal from this hopper. So what this means is whenever the minecart comes in, whether or not it's got items in it, it will briefly stop over this powered rail. If it does have items in it, it will start having them pulled out by this hopper here. And as they're pulled out by the hopper, this comparator, which is just set to the standard mode here without any without that torch being raised, if there's anything inside that hopper, even if it's just being dropped straight into the chest, you'll get a signal here. And this redstone repeater just means that even if we get a very low signal, it'll always be 15. So essentially, this powered rail being turned on and off is controlled both by when it first comes over this detector rail, and if there's something going through the hopper, it will only be turned back on once that hopper is empty. And then it'll just be sent off back to where it came from. And that's that side in a nutshell. Now, this side here works somewhat differently. My concern with making this side was that I didn't want to make it overly complicated in a way that sort of tries to detect how many items are where, and sort of try and make it so that it's sort of the when it goes off, it's when it's the most efficient time. I just wanted it to be sort of a self-propelling system, whereas if there's not many items there, it'll go back and forth quickly. If there are lots of items and it's going to have to do several trips, the amount that it takes will increase every time. So the first thing you'll notice is that I've got a little bit of, I've taken advantage here of these sort of junctions. And the way this works is if you make this junction first, so you make this curve and then bring a rail onto it, when the minecart goes over here, it will skip over and carry on going, but when it comes back the other way, it will go down a different route. So on the way down, it goes in over that detector, but when it comes back, it goes over that detector rail. So essentially that there, those two detector rails, just let you know, excuse me, those two detector rails just let you know if there is a minecart there. So when there is a minecart sitting on that powered rail or has come into the system, this here will be sending a signal up here. This is an AND gate, and I'll explain what it's used for in a minute. And then when the minecart goes, there is no signal there. Now the control of the loading of the minecart is done quite similar to over there with that hopper. It's done in a way that if there is anything in this hopper, there will be a signal coming to this comparator. This redstone repeater just makes sure that that signal is as strong as possible. So even if we only get a signal of 1 coming out, it'll be turned into 15. Now off of that signal that we get from the hopper, the first thing that we do is we use it to control the rail there, the powered rail that will send the minecart back off. And we invert the signal and we run it back and just put a repeater there onto the block behind there. This may look strange that I've got this sort of dropped into the ground here. It's just so that it doesn't potentially power the signal up here and we get a sort of flicking on and off problem. Like I said, this could be much more compact. This is just so you can see everything that's going on. So the second thing that we do with this signal from the hopper is that we power the other side of an AND gate. And what this now means is that when there's a cart in here and there is a signal coming from this hopper, so there's a cart in here and there's something in this hopper to be unloaded, this AND gate will be turned on. So that means both of these torches will be on, so will be off. There will be no signal up here and this torch will be on. This torch stops this hopper from working. So what this just means is that no matter how full these are, once a cart comes in, if it's stopped there and it's being unloaded, or sorry, it's been, there's items being loaded into the cart, they won't continue to drop into it. It will only unload what is in the hoppers already. This just prevents any sort of system whereby it just continually loads and it doesn't trigger itself off. The reason there has to be a chest here is that hoppers have an enabled and a disabled state, or an active and a non-active state. Now, a hopper will both pull items out and drop items into the inventory below it or wherever it's linked to. The issue is that if you don't have a chest here, is that even if you turn this hopper off, this one would continue to push items into it, and this one would continue to pull items out of it. So actually you wouldn't be controlling it at all. That's just what that chest is there. It just means that this is isolated. This is isolated so that we can just make sure that it is turned off. Nothing else is being pulled through. Now these hoppers have a 5 inventory space. You could have this as much as the storage capacity of that minecart. I've just done this so it's smaller, it's easier to move around. So at the moment, at the maximum, this could unload 10 stacks of items into that minecart. Now that is really all of this in a nutshell. So if we go over that, so we've got our unloading over here, which is just used as a detector rail, and the output from a hopper to turn off this powered rail wherever the minecart is sitting over there, and it'll only be sitting over there when it's unloaded. On this side here, we just use these pistons, just normal pistons, to know if there is a minecart in. If there is a minecart in, that goes to one side of our AND signal. And the comparator here both controls the signal going to that powered rail. The powered rail can only be turned on when the hopper is empty, and it also sends the signal to our AND logic gate there, which controls the hopper that leads into the lower hopper. We could have more hoppers there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop some items in here. Just say maybe you've been mining and you wanted that to be unloaded. You'll see how this system sort of gradually spirals to be taking more and more items. So if you look in this hopper here, okay, on that sort of trip back and forth, it managed to load up most of that iron ore. And as it goes off up here, we'll see this in action again. Okay, it's unloading items into here. But because of that journey time, we will now get more items being loaded into this hopper. And then as the next journey, as it unloads again, even more items will be going in there. So if you had a situation where you were feeding stacks and stacks of things into there, it would get to the point where it was actually taking up to 10 stacks every time, or 15, 20, 25, whatever you set up on this hopper system here. And then whenever this is off, or whenever this is empty, it turns that powered rail back on. So there you go. That is an automated system to just have something where you can dump all your items into a chest and it gets carted off somewhere else. You could have a sorting system over here. I hope that's been useful to you. I hope it is simple enough to use and is not overly complicated at all. And If anyone makes improvement on it, fantastic. Let us know. Um, Hope it's useful. Hope you have fun. Hope you're doing awesome things in Minecraft. Catch you guys soon.